Geht schon.
Von Wien bis Auckland.
Oh, baby.
Der Prince-Podcast zum Zuhören und Mitreden.
First things first, we like you to stare. We used to go on stage in our underwear. We changed up, we got a brand new beat.
Hey everybody, this is St. Paul Peterson, and you're listening to the great podcast From Vienna to Auckland. Thanks for listening. Keep it funky.
It wouldn't be rock and roll without a little blood.
Is that what they said? I love it. I love it.
To be honest, I sit here and I watch you on the screen and I still can't believe that I talk to the man who sings this song.
Hello and welcome to our latest episode.
We are Martina and Gerald, and this is Von Wien bis Auckland, from Vienna to Auckland, a Prince podcast made in Austria, Europe. The title of this episode is The Prince Experience featuring St. Paul Peterson.
All our episodes are usually in German, but in this episode we had the very special opportunity to talk to Mr. St. Paul Peterson. This is why we made an additional English episode for the first time.
And this is what you will hear. St. Paul talks about the concert in Villach, which Martina and I very much enjoyed attending, called The Prince Experience. It is a project St. Paul did with other musicians from the Prince Camp and the WDR Big Band.
We took a peek inside the musical journey of St. Paul as well, from his work with The Time to his latest record, Break On Free. And at the end of our chat, St. Paul answered some questions from our listeners.
We hope you enjoy this episode. Peace and be wild. So
Let's start. Well,
Hi everybody.
Yes, hi. We are honored and thrilled to have you as our very special guest in this episode. And we would like to shortly introduce you to our listeners. So
Please.
You grew up in Minneapolis in a family of great musicians, the Peterson family. Your talent was discovered when you were 17, very young age, by none other than Prince. He also gave you the name St. Paul.
He did.
You started out in the band The Time and appeared in the movie Purple Rain.
I did. That's how old I am.
Yeah. You then became the lead singer of the family, and shortly after you started your successful solo career.
Yes.
You worked together with a lot of musicians, Steve Miller Band, Kenny Loggins, Peter Frampton, Paula Abdul, George Benson, just to name a few. And then you reunited with members of the family as fDeluxe and later formed the band St. Paul and the Minneapolis Funk All-Stars. And you're also a podcast host, Music on the Run, and you're doing FunkFriday, which Gerald is a very big fan of.
You like that, do you?
Yes, FunkFriday is the perfect start to the weekend. It's every Friday I have to go on Facebook and see you and all these other guys making music. It's beautiful. It's great.
Isn't that fun? We've had so much fun doing that series.
Yeah.
Really, we have. It's been great.
It really looks like a lot of fun.
It is.
And it's so good to see all these guys, Prince make music with Dr. Fink and I don't have any names right now, but
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah.
So music seems to be your life.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Ever since I can remember, I'm the youngest of the Peterson family. So my mom and dad were musicians. So there was always music in the house. All my brothers and sisters are musicians. So there was always rehearsals going on in the house. And I thought that's just what everybody did. So I didn't know any better. So I just fell right in. And I've been making music since the time I can remember.
Wow. Yeah, so once more, hello and welcome, St. Paul Peterson.
Thank you so much.
where are you right now, and what time is it?
It is 1 in the afternoon. I am at St. Patrick's Catholic Church.
Oh,
I'm their music minister,
Oh,
okay.
and I do that because I love doing that, and I love my choir, and I know where my talent comes from, and so I like to give that back, and it's a very important part of my life. And when I'm not traveling on the road, this is where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
Cool.
So let's start with the Prince experience. We had the opportunity to see your performance in Villach in Austria. And it's safe to say that we were absolutely thrilled.
What a cool town to be able to do that in.
Oh, really? Do you like?
Yes.
It was your first visit to Germany and Austria, I guess?
I've been to Germany many times.
See.
Never Austria. What a beautiful country, and I really wish we had more time to explore. And it was, if you recall, it was pouring rain.
Yes.
Those 2 days that I was there. I got my umbrella out. I went out, and I'll never forget this. My brother Ricky, who was the keyboard player, a very well-known keyboard player, he and I went shopping, and my daughter is pregnant with my first grandchild.
Oh, wow.
And Villach is the first place where I purchased a gift for my grandson.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I started crying, and it was very emotional.
Oh, that's good memories then.
Oh, yes. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
Oh, that's great. Could you share the origin of this collaboration with the WDR Big Band and shed some light on how the musicians from the Prince came together for this project?
Well, I've worked with the WDR with my brother Ricky prior to this engagement, and he was being featured.
Okay.
So that was an incredible experience. And one of the advisors to the WDR, Joachim Becker, who happens to be a label executive that my brother works with, and he actually signed me and distributes my music throughout Europe and Japan. They had an idea of bringing the Prince experience over there. We've been trying to do that for 3 years, but then that pesky virus started going around, so we had to cancel quite a few times, and it was very disappointing. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But basically, this band is the Minneapolis Funk All Stars.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the WDR Orchestra. They're really, this is a lot of this band I took to Sydney, Australia.
Yes.
We played the Opera House. We also played in Melbourne. And it reminds me of those bands. But this was, Ricky was instrumental, and so was Joachim. They were instrumental in putting this collaboration together. And because I had these bands in the past, I helped form some of the arrangements and suggest some of the people. Just because I've worked with them for so long, it just made it so much easier and so much fun to do these gigs. So that's my involvement in it, besides being the bass player and singer.
Okay.
Besides.
Yeah.
It was quite a nice coincidence that during the concert we sat next to the director of the Corinthian Summer Festival, Holger Beck. And after the concert, we took the opportunity to thank him, because I'm not sure if you know that it was his last day for him as a director of the festival.
No, I did not know that.
And it was also the last day of the festival. So he retired, and the Prince experience was his special wish for his farewell.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what they talked about when they entered the stage. So I think he got some flowers and was.
Yeah, I remember that, but I couldn't understand anything. So.
Sure, it was in German. Yeah. So we really took the opportunity to thank him, because otherwise it would maybe just have been Bonn in Germany and not Austria.
Yes.
So we were lucky.
Yeah. So, I also heard that not many people stand up in that auditorium and party and stuff like that. So I think we got them on their feet.
You
and
did.
I hope we made it special not only for him but for everybody.
I think so, yes.
I think so, because I turned around quite often and watched the crowd, and I was surprised because the funny thing was that a very old couple, I think after 1999, they just left, and the guy was, putting his hands on his ears like, like this.
This was not what he was expecting, I'm sure.
That was funny. Yeah, no, you did a really good effort to keep the people up and dancing, and
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Austrians are sometimes shy. We need.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need some time, and we need a little bit of alcohol, and then it works. But
oh, that's funny.
What else do we know? Or do we want to know? For us, it seems also a little bit of effort, for only 3 concerts. So are there any plans to continue the Prince experience, or is it the Minneapolis Funk All-Stars anyway?
Well, we're certainly playing a lot in the States as Minneapolis Funk All-Stars. We just played in California to 2 sold-out shows, and that was fun. But there's something special about the WD Orchestra and those incredible Vince Mendoza arrangements. We hope that we can come back next summer and play some of the big jazz festivals and all the festivals throughout Europe. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Good. Yeah,
there's a big jazz festival in Vienna.
Really?
And Vienna is a beautiful city. You will love it.
I need to go there.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you like it.
I'd love to. We'll see.
Yeah. Let's cross our fingers.
Organizers are able to
keep
do
the
that.
fingers crossed. That would be good.
That would be great.
I have been to many celebrations in the last years in Paisley Park.
Okay.
And do you have any discussions with the guys who are running the celebrations to bring a show like this to Paisley Park, maybe during a celebration?
Not as of yet, but it's a really good idea.
I think so.
I do a lot of work at Paisley Park with the Minneapolis Funk All-Stars.
Yes.
A lot of private parties and those kind of things. That is a very, very good idea.
Oh,
I'm gonna talk to them about that.
Oh, that's nice. Yes,
I'm gonna say that it's Gerald's idea, so it's gonna be your guys' idea.
And I've been to Minneapolis a couple of times, but Martina never went to Minneapolis.
So I would love to go next year. So
yes,
And
if you play, we're both partying in Paisley Park.
Definitely. That would be good.
That would be super fun. Yes.
Yes.
Come on.
Let's talk a little bit about the playlist. We were very surprised that the first song was Xenophobia. And to be honest, it took me a while to recognize it. And I love this song, but it came so out of the blue. Who was responsible for putting the songs together?
Well, it was a collaboration of trying to get the popular songs with some of the ones that might not be on everybody's radar, including some instrumental pieces, right? Yeah. Because the WDR needs to be featured.
Yes.
And I think that was a brilliant feature for them and a surprise to a lot of the Prince fans that we would pull that out.
Yeah.
So it was a collaborative effort on picking the songs.
The next thing on the playlist was this beautiful thing you do with Kiss and Sexy MF.
That's my arrangement. Yeah.
Oh, yes. That was my question. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that was your arrangement. Okay.
Well, if you notice Prince's music, he writes a lot of blues songs, 12-bar blues songs. You got the look, Party Man, Cream, Kiss, Sexy MF. They're all Delirious. All those songs are based around the 12-bar blues. So I just folded one into the other one because Kiss is a very difficult song to pull off live.
Okay.
I mean, no matter if you're Prince or if you're us, you know. So I just thought it would be cool to try to combine the two, and it really worked out well. And everybody seems to really like that arrangement.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
it
we
was.
did.
I write down the track list on my iPhone, and I wrote, "Oh, it's XMF. No, it's Kiss. No, it's XMF. No, it's both."
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh yes, I love it.
And of course, we also witnessed a lot of emotions after Purple Rain when Liv was singing
yes.
it. Wow. And
Mhm.
Cassandra during Sometimes It Snows in April. And of course, yeah, it had me in tears as well.
Yeah.
How did it feel for you personally to perform Prince's music?
You know, it's always interesting. Being that I was only with the Prince camp for 3 or 4 years, and somehow I have come back to be one of the people who unites the alumni to come together. And if I can be a conduit to preserve and prolong the Minneapolis song, well, I'm honored to be able to do that. I'm certainly not Prince. I'm not trying to be Prince, and everyone knows that. My goal every time, whether I'm playing with my band, the Minneapolis Funk All Stars, or the WDR Orchestra, is to represent the Minneapolis sound with integrity, right, and authenticity.
Yes.
So I gather all the people that have been surrounding him and were around during those times, because it's history making. And if we don't do it, who will?
Yeah, that's true. I saw last year or this year, I saw Dr. Mambo's Combo, and they are
Yes.
also doing a great job in keeping the legacy alive and playing his
Oh, yeah.
music. And I really
Oh,
loved
sure.
it. Yeah, yeah. And I read the other day that the new Power Generation is doing some concerts right now in America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're great. Sheila's great.
Yes.
The Revolution are great. I mean, if we, as long as we all keep in mind what we're doing here, which is playing Prince's music and doing it with, like I said, integrity, and prolonging and preserving and extending that beautiful sound that he created along with others. I mean, we were all part of it, but it was, you know, Prince was the instigator and the genius behind a lot of it. And it was just so happened that we were lucky enough to be a part of it. And we want to keep that alive, because it should be. It's great music.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
The best.
The best music. Yes. And
I think so.
Yeah, Prince showed me a lot of other musicians that I adore to this day. Is it Sly and the Family Stone? Is it Miles Davis? He brought out so many things to my musical journey, and now Prince is, I love his music. It's
a whole world. It's not just
it's
him.
a whole
It's a whole
world.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, something you should know. Not only do the Minneapolis Funk All Stars, not only are we all alumni, a byproduct of working with him that I bet you he didn't even realize. At this point, we are lifelong friends. You know, he brought people together not only to play in bands, but to share in this journey of life and music together. So these people are some of my closest friends to this day, and I get to make music with them.
Okay, as we got the opportunity to talk to you, we like to dive a little bit into your journey. And
sure, I'd love that.
We prepared a few samples of your songs, and
Bring it on.
Let's kick off the first song. It's quite obvious, I think.
Yeah.
It's, of course, the bird from Ice Cream Castle by the time.
Actually, that's not that. Yes, and that's me playing live on that. I remember being at First Avenue as a kid, recording this concert, and the recording truck was sitting in the back parking lot, and it's what they used in the movie Purple Rain
Yes.
and on the record. So that's me playing, and I'll never ever forget it.
This was my question, but actually you already answered it.
Yeah, but you mentioned you were a kid, so you just graduated from high school, 17 years old.
Yes.
And you were part of
Yes.
Purple Rain. So did you realize how big it was?
No.
No chance.
It was just part of it. It was part of the job.
Okay.
So Prince said, rehearse with the time. Okay. So I went in, rehearsed with the time. He said, show up here. We're making a movie. I'm like, cool. All right. I showed up here. So the movie was done. The record was out. The next thing I know, the Times Ice Cream Castles went double platinum.
Yes.
And Purple Rain was this fantastic smash hit. And here's a funny story, is that I went to the premiere of Purple Rain in California at Grauman's Chinese Theater with my girlfriend, who was not my wife, and my very Catholic mother. If she would have found out, I would have been in big trouble. So we hid from the cameras all night long. She's now my wife of 33 years.
Oh,
that's great.
My girlfriend at the time.
Oh, wow. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Okay, the next song. It's also a no-brainer, I think, but it's your journey, and especially, and I got to admit, the tribute you did with Susanna and Eric Leeds and String Genius in 2016.
Yes.
That really brought me to tears and still gets me emotional to this day. And it's, of course...
It's been 7 hours and 13 days since you took your love away.
I go out every night and sleep all day. Since you took your love away. Martina, since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want.
I sing on a song with St. Paul Peterson. To be honest, I sit here and I watch you on the screen, and I still can't believe that I talk to the man who sings this song. So it's
the old man who sings. I'm grateful to be here still. I just had a birthday. So a couple of days ago. So, I mean, older, wiser, grateful, for all the things that I've done throughout my career. That song, it's something I talk about in the show, and it's hard for me to believe that the writer of that song and the woman who made it so very famous are both gone. So I dedicate it to them every time I sing it now. What a brilliant song.
Yeah, and both didn't even reach 60.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we sing it in their memory, and we sing it for the love of those two.
Can you share a little bit of your memories of your time with the family? You said it was a short period of time.
It was.
Quite intense, I guess. A lot of stuff going on with the time, splitting up and the family, and Prince pointing at you. You are the lead singer.
Mm-hmm. So, you already know that part of the story.
Yeah.
So I won't repeat that. So once I was selected to be the lead singer, I was living at my mom's house. It's actually the house I currently live in. When Mom passed, I bought the house. So it's all very crazy that we're talking about these things because I was in the same house almost 40 years ago. So Prince would deliver the songs via cassette to my house, via messenger. He'd send them full demos with him singing and playing everything, and I'd have to learn them verbatim. Same inflections, same melody, obviously lyrics, all that. but same intensity, same vibe, same sound, as much as I could. He was molding me that way. So
Okay.
it was imitation, but flattery, for him, because he did it in his sleep. He was so prolific and such a genius that it was like going to college for me, trying to learn these songs he would send to me, and then I would sing them and learn every time I would go into the studio. He usually was not there to record. We were this is before Paisley Park. So we would record in this empty warehouse with David Z, and Jelly Bean would be right by him, not in some fancy recording studio, literally an open warehouse like this.
Okay.
Seriously, open room. So I would sing, and he'd give us feedback, and he really appreciated everything that we did. And David Z did a brilliant job of educating me, because I'd never done a vocal on that level before, ever. I was a kid. So he taught me that, just the whole process of Prince putting us in pajamas and labeling us and branding us. I knew nothing about branding. I didn't really know how to put a live show together, and being in the time and the family showed me that. The mystique, the look, how he comes up with all that stuff. I mean, who comes up with silk pajamas and a smoking jacket?
Yes, that's true.
Not me. I wouldn't have come up with that. So it was it all happened very quickly. And then he went to I think he went to France to make Under the Cherry Moon, and he sent me to LA to take acting and singing and dancing lessons,
Okay.
which I did. But I also got a call from A&M Records to go in and produce Janet Jackson. And it was just a ploy to get me in the office and try to get me to leave Prince, which, fast forward a few months, I ultimately did, signed with MCA Records, and that's when Prince and I started butting heads, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a tough time to leave him. It was a tough time for him to have someone leave him as well. I mean, not a lot of people left Prince.
That's true.
He would be the one to let them go. Not a lot of people went, thanks a lot, see you later. My family looked at me like, are you crazy? But coming from a musical family, I knew this is what I was meant to do. It was the right timing.
Yeah.
I had been trained for that. My family trained me my entire life. I have zero regrets to this day about any of the decisions that I made. It all happens for a reason. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, right? And look where I'm back doing. Prolonging the Minneapolis sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm grateful to be able to do that. I'm grateful that people accept me to be able to do that, even though I wasn't there for such a short jaunt. But here we are. So that's I love everyone in the family. I just talked to Susanna the other day. I talk to Eric Leeds all the time. Jelly Bean's in my band. Jerome, I talk to about once a year. And now we got to talk about maybe getting back together for a 40th year reunion.
Perfect.
Thanks for answering this question. Yes, that's coming up, and it's enough time to still make plans and all that. Yeah, great.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm a listener of your podcast, and of course, I listened to the episode where you talked with the family during the pandemic. And I would like to know: is it true that you didn't have an assignment or a contract?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say Prince was not a really good employer?
At that time, was not great.
Okay.
Let's just put it this way: without airing dirty laundry, I made the same amount of money I made in the time in the family, which was pretty embarrassing amount of money. And when someone would offer me an amount with many more zeros after it, you have to take a look at it just for I was still living with my mom. I couldn't move out from my mother's house. You know,
Okay.
that's not right.
Yes.
So that's primarily why I left. I also got an incredible opportunity to produce my own record, or say who could produce my record. And you know who did? My brother Ricky.
Yes.
So that's
there you go.
the perfect bridge to the next song.
Yes.
Oh, let's hear it.
About the next song, I read the line, "It's a small, fine masterpiece whose shadows radiates into the present." And that's the song.
I've never felt like this before.
Oh.
Love is knocking at
And my door,
You're the one who's
you're the one who's come into my life. Oh, intimacy. Yeah.
How was your experience releasing your first album on your own?
Scary.
Scary.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you leave the hottest artist on the planet and then hope for the best, it's very intimidating. And, you know, it was nice to have some good success, especially with that song that I wrote with my sister.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's do it.
About our next song, it is said that you and Michael B. provided some of the funkiest backbone ever heard on record.
This song.
Really?
I love this bass.
George Benson.
Yes.
That's me on guitar, too. Not here.
Not here.
No.
This song is called P Park, and it's from the album That's Right by George Benson.
Yes.
Because of the Prince relation, it's obvious why we chose this song, but we definitely have to mention that there is a song on this album called Song for My Brother, composed by you,
Yes.
which was nominated for a
Yes.
Grammy.
It was. I wrote it for my brother Billy.
Oh, okay.
I did. Who's an incredible upright and electric bass player. He's an incredible musician, arranger, songwriter, piano player. He's so great. Let me tell you something about this record. So at this time, Paisley Park was open. My brother Ricky was a staff producer at Paisley. He would allow me to come in and use his office. So we would meet there. He'd use me on every project, George Benson included. All the Prince-related projects, Nona Hendrix, or was it Nona Gay? I can't remember. One of the Nonas. Who else? Mavis Staples. And Prince knew damn well that I was in the building. We were not getting along at that time, but he would allow me to be there,
Yes.
right? So he could have kicked me out at any time. And once he would see me, sometimes we would cross paths there, and he'd see me and he'd go,
Okay.
two of us face and head the other way. So it was quite comical. We finally, after all, I mean, by the way, that George Benson record is probably one of my greatest life experiences ever.
Oh, wow.
George was one of my, and still is, one of my heroes. I listened to his music from the time he was playing bebop until he was doing Breezin', Gimme the Night, all those great songs. And I was floored when they asked me and my brother and Tommy LaPuma and Michael B. to play on that record. Literally, those are mostly first takes on that
Really?
entire
Wow.
record. Oh, yeah. One of the greatest experiences of my life.
Wow, that's like a fan moment for you with George Benson.
Oh, I had him sign my guitar.
Oh,
So I still have it. And then I told you I was playing guitar on that song.
Yes.
That's me playing rhythm. He handed me his personal guitar to play rhythm
Wow.
on his record. I was like, oh my God, I'm playing George Benson's record, guitar.
cool.
So you
Very
understand
cool.
the feeling we've got with you right now.
Yes,
Partly.
Partly.
Oh, but
completely.
back
Sorry.
to the song P Park. I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's Paisley Park?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How did the song get its
yeah.
name? Why P Park?
I don't think I wrote that one. I think Ricky and George did, and they probably wrote it up in our little office that we had. And he's like, well, should we name it? And George, I think, said, well, that's P Park, man. P Park.
We are at Paisley Park, so just name the song this way.
Yeah, so we cut that whole record in probably a week, maybe a little bit more. Yeah.
That's amazing,
Incredible.
The fifth song. And picking up the next song was really a tough call for me because the album we're talking about next is just loaded with awesome tracks. I truly adore the beautiful harmonies that blends your and Susanna voice on the song called When You Go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love the bass notes you do in the song Lover. I heard it a couple of times during the last days, and it also makes me smile when I hear this little, it's a little bit in the background for me personally. But in the end, I decided to go for a more up-tempo song, and that's this one.
Ain't too late, it's time to take off. Flights at 8, we got Paris, Morocco, and Mexico. Little girl, you wanna go? Don't you wanna be my lady?
Woo! I love that song.
I love what you do with fDeluxe. I love your live record. I still got to get a physical copy from Discogs one day. I just bought it. I just bought it from YouTube Music or Apple Music or whatever. So I only have it on my computer. But one day I got a physical copy.
I have them back here in my garage.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So maybe next year we'll pass by and.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
In 2011, it was. What made the family want to make music together again?
Well, we did a reunion concert with Sheila E. for her then Little Angel Buddy Foundation. So it was the family, portions of the Revolution, Vanity 6 or Apollonia 6, I think, was there. Shaka Khan was there, and this was in the Forum in L.A. And it's as if time stood still. We all remembered our parts. We knew everything, and we looked at each other, and we were like, ooh, this is fun. This is years before Prince passed away. Then we were going to continue making music, and then Susanna found out she was pregnant, so we put that on hold. Years later, Questlove asked us to reunite again for his pre-Grammy party, which we did. Mm-hmm. And so we got back together then, did the show on Sunset Boulevard there. And again, we looked at each other and went, this is too much fun. We should really consider getting back together. So at that point in time, I think I was with Kenny Loggins, touring with him as the bass player. And I would... I'd go to Susanna's house. She was married to Doyle Bramahall at that time, who plays with Eric Clapton. And he and I would train and work out together. But I lived in their garage. I had my studio in the garage. Most of that record was made in that garage.
Oh, great.
And it sounds funky because it is funky.
Yes.
And the conditions were funky.
Yeah.
So it all kind of really made for an interesting soup. And we got, Oliver Lieber's involved on that track. Of course, the great Eric Leeds is involved on that. Jelly Bean, Susanna and myself. Susanna and I almost killed each other making that record, though, because we had never made a record together. And we had very different styles of making records, and we were just trying to make it work. And it would never have turned out how it turned out without her involvement. We may have almost killed each other, but it sure is I'm really proud of that record.
But it really sounds like a band record. It's not like every musician doing his part and then mixing it together. It really sounds very organic and very together.
It is. It wasn't recorded that way.
Okay.
But I'm glad it sounds that way.
Okay.
I'm playing many of the instruments on there.
Yes.
Except for drums, some keyboard stuff. But we really worked out a lot of that in that garage. We did.
Oh, great. Song number 6. And
yes, bring it on.
I read the following statement about this record. No preconsidered melodies or songs, just a groove and a key. The rest is up to the imagination of Leeds Peterson and their stellar cast of special guests. Yes, it's one of my favorite records. It's
oh, no kidding. Woo! Eric Leeds is one of my dearest friends on the planet. I call him the Howard Hughes of funk.
Okay.
Because he's kind of a recluse. He'd admit to that. But we spent 6 months making this record side by side, writing it, recording it. And he's brilliant.
Yes.
He is brilliant.
This record is brilliant. I love it really so much. And
thank you.
It took some time for you to work together, actually. It was made 2017. So
yeah. Is it that long ago? God.
Yes. So it must have been the right time in this year to do something together, to work together.
Yeah. I miss him. It's time. He played with me in the Minneapolis Funk All-Stars last fall or something. He did a show with us, but that's not enough.
So we will talk a little bit to our listeners now, because we are giving away a CD, Leeds Peterson, No Words, signed by Eric Leeds and St. Paul Peterson.
Nice.
So all you have to do is answer a question, dear listeners. The question is, and please don't answer. What is the title of the song on the album That's Right, which was composed by St. Paul Peterson and for which George Benson was nominated for a Grammy? Send us an email with the song title to von Wien Bis Auckland @gmail.com before the 21st of November, and the winner will be announced in the next episode.
So I'm pretty sure you know the answer.
I do.
The last song, and I have a little story. I have to say I found this record in a record store after one of the many lockdowns here in Austria. And it was like meeting an old friend. I went to the shop and there was, front center was St. Paul Peterson. And there was one song that I absolutely adore. It just perfectly matched that whole reawakening mood that I was in. Go back in the city, go back in shops, meeting friends again.
Yes.
And it was this song.
You got to live, you got to learn, you got to love.
You got to love.
You got to live, you got to learn, you got to love.
You got to love. What I'm talking about.
That was You Got to Love from your latest release, Break On Free. Was this record something of an outlet for you dealing with the pandemic?
Well, honestly, that song I wrote with my nephew pre-pandemic, and we started collecting songs throughout the pandemic. I continued to record throughout the pandemic because that's what everybody did. There's a lot of records that came out right after the pandemic, I can tell you that. But if you notice, a lot of the lyrics and the content of that new record of mine are about positivity, love, peace, harmony, unity. this poor world needs all of those qualities,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Big amounts.
my time left on this earth is going to be dedicated to all those things.
Yeah, that's important. We live really in a crazy world right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me sad,
Yes.
you know,
Absolutely.
because we're only here for a short time. We should figure out how we can get along and celebrate our differences rather than kill each other over them.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Speaking of killing each other and maybe to get to something funny back again, is your relationship with your brother Ricky okay after he hit you with the microphone?
Oh boy, he felt so bad, but I bled like crazy. He was trying to help me.
Yes.
My microphone had fallen down and I was bending down to sing on it, and he tried to straighten it up and popped me right in the nose, and I just bled the rest of that show. And of course it was televised with like 20 cameras to capture the whole thing. But I had to make it funny. I don't know if you saw the little meme I made with James Brown.
Yes. And in the chat of the live stream, someone wrote, "It wouldn't be rock and roll without a little blood."
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It was pretty funny. It was so funny. My wife called me right after that. She didn't say, "How are you?" She said, "Get the blood out of that brand new shirt." Take cold water and get blood out of that shirt. She's funny.
Okay, we have a few more minutes. We have a couple of questions from our listeners. And the first one goes like, how do you define the Minneapolis sound and how it is different from regular funk?
That's a tough question to answer because I think it was Prince who once says, if you can define it, then it ain't funky.
That's true.
Funk, Minneapolis funk is based off of, I'll try. And you can go back and I think Shelly B and Eric and I tried to explain this on our a special we did about 12 years ago with fDeluxe. But it's about groove. It's about where you place the notes, where the accents are, where the feel is in relationship with where the beat is, playing parts, knowing your job, knowing your role, and just being greasy, because you can't really define the word greasy, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's a regional thing, just like Detroit funk, Kansas City funk, New Orleans funk. You can't really put a label on it. You got to live it. And Prince allowed us to live it.
Oh, great.
That's a great answer.
Yes.
So, talking about music, what are your thoughts about the change in the music industry? So, the music that is now produced now, almost 40 years after Purple Rain and Ice Cream Castle, are you listening to music that is being produced now?
I listen to music that moves me. I don't listen to music that was not created for me.
Okay.
Just like when our parents were around, the music that they were making for us, they weren't making for them. So I'm not trying to chase that anymore. I just like to listen to the music that moves me, whether that's artists like Jared Lawson, artists like Layla Hathaway, Corey Wong, Dirty Loops, Jacob Collier, Earth, Wind and Fire, because they're all my buddies. That's what's important to me.
Okay.
So I don't try to chase the trends anymore. I do worry about the music business and how people monetize the music business, because it's nearly impossible to make a living of being a young artist. And I know this because my kid is in Los Angeles, and a brilliant artist by the name of Jeanne Taylor, Jeanne
Oh, okay.
Taylor. And you should check her out. She's a great artist. And it's just, there's so much music coming out, number one. Number two, there's a lot of noise because of that. Number three, it's hard to get into the algorithm that has been created by these computer programs for the incredible artists to stand out. So they need to figure this out.
Yes.
And it's important to buy physical CDs and physical vinyls and not only stream stuff. And I need things to grab them and to look at them. And that's important for
agree.
me. Yeah.
But we're old.
Yes, we're old.
I don't know. The genie's already out of the bottle. I don't ever know if it will ever go back in. There must be a way for people to monetize their art, so they're allowed to be productive citizens and continue to be supported to make music. These people have to work 4 jobs just to be able to write their music and express themselves. That ain't right. I never had to do that.
And on the other hand, I don't understand the audience. Why would you prefer some music created by artificial intelligence to some handmade music by a band who knows their tools, who knows to play their instruments? Maybe we are old, but I fear for the next generations because they grow up with all this computer stuff.
True, but there are so many great young musicians coming up, living their dream. I haven't given up on the next generation coming up, or 2 generations back. The musicianships of these kids coming up is blowing my mind. So there is hope, and people are finding them. I mean, there are incredible artists out there. It's just a way. I mean, we got to just figure out how to support them and artists like them. That's what we have to do. Yeah. And these young kids have to do. They have to put their money where their mouth is, and the kids who are making the music have to figure out how to monetize it.
Yeah. Well, time for 2 more questions.
Okay. Perfect timing, and then I got to go.
Yes. After you record with the time and the family, do you ever work with Prince in the studio again?
Yes.
Oh.
Because we split up, right? I left the band, went away and did my solo project. And that's when Ricky got the job as staff producer at Paisley and brought me back in. So I played on not his records per se, but I remember him borrowing my bass. He knew I was in the building. He's like, go see if you can borrow Paul's bass.
Okay.
Because I owned one of the best recording basses in the world, and he knew it. I'm like, go ahead, man. You can have it. But I did a lot of recording on some of his projects and things like that. And any project that used to come through Paisley Park, which was an open studio, anybody could go in there.
Yes.
Right? So we'd work on unrelated projects that were in Paisley Park, like George Benson,
Okay,
and those kind of people. And I made a lot of demos and music in there as well.
Okay.
And Prince and I started hanging out again right around the time we made the fDeluxe record. We Mended Fences, which was really good for my soul, and I think for him too. And we used to go out and see concerts together. We saw Victor Wooten together and hung out, and he asked us to come, and it was Eric and LP Music. We went out in the September before he died and played for his album release party.
Oh, great.
And he couldn't have been more cordial and nice. He came up and gave us a big hug and said, thank you for being here. And it was just so nice.
And what was the last time you talked or saw Prince before his passing?
It was then.
Okay.
He had come to see Eric and I at Dakota with LP Music, but he didn't come down and say hi.
Okay. I see.
So the last time I saw him was September, the year before he died. And it was a beautiful meeting.
Okay, great.
So, last question.
Yes.
What are you currently working on? What's next for you?
Oh, well, I've got Christmas coming up, and I've got a choir I got to teach some songs to.
Cool.
Oh, great.
That's what I'm doing here. I'm organizing my music. What else am I doing? I also have a band called the Classic American Rockers, because a lot of the Prince fans don't know this, but I played in the Steve Miller Band for 5 years. I also played with Peter Frampton, Kenny Loggins, and so we have a classic rock band as well that we play all the fun rock and roll hits, and we do a lot of shows around the area as well. And I get to be the guitar player and singer. So we have about 4 shows coming up. Probably the 35th annual Peterson family Christmas concert we do at the Dakota with all my brothers and sisters. It's really a special, special time to spend with my family, nephews and nieces, and the 3rd generation of Petersons. And then I'm going to be a grandfather coming up in February. So I'm looking forward to just being a grandpa and watching my little grandson grow up and supporting my daughter and her husband and visiting my kids and hanging out with my wife. Oh, that's what I'm doing.
Sounds perfect.
Great. Okay, at the end of every episode of our podcast, we play a song from the Prince camp, musicians Prince worked with or produced or whatever. And this time we would like to do it the other way around. So what's your favorite Prince song? So we can play it at the end of our show.
Oh, God.
Another tough question.
There's too many. Why don't you play Mountains?
Mountains is a great tune, yes.
Good choice.
I had never played that live until we did it in Europe 5 weeks ago.
Yes. Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Such a great song.
Yeah.
So then let's play from the Prince record Parade, the song Mountain, chosen by St. Paul Peterson.
Great.
Thank you so much for spending the time with us and giving us your stories. And I was really nervous to talk to you.
No, you didn't. Like I said, you didn't have to. Yeah, good.
Not now anymore.
Now we're friends.
Now we're friends, and we see each other with the MPLS for all funk stars at the stage of Paisley Park during celebration.
That would be fun.
Please,
yes, good.
Yeah, that will be.
We're right on time. We have 2 more minutes. Enough time to say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Yes.
A big thank you again, and I hope to see you very soon at a concert.
Let me know if you're coming to the States.
Yes, we will.
We will do. Have a beautiful day.
Yes.
You too.
Teach the music to the choir.
I will.
And thanks again, and
enjoy being a granddad. It's a special event in a life, to become grandparents. Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait. And let me know when this is going to air.
Yes.
Yeah, we will send it to you anyways. Yeah,
I'll tell my friends. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
So have a great day.
All.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Komm doch als Gast in eine der nächsten Folgen. Melde dich am besten über E-Mail bei uns. Die Adresse lautet von Wien bis Auckland @gmail.com. Du findest uns unter dem gleichen Namen auch auf Facebook, Instagram und Twitter. Zu jeder Podcast-Folge gibt es auf YouTube auch eine Playlist. Dort findest du Empfehlungen, die zu dieser Folge passen. Such auf YouTube einfach nach von Wien bis Auckland oder klick auf den Link in den Shownotes zu dieser Folge.
Wenn dir gefällt, was du hörst, freuen wir uns, wenn du den Podcast in deinem sozialen Netzwerk teilst und weiterempfiehlst und über deine Bewertung auf iTunes, Spotify oder dem Podcatcher deiner Wahl. Je größer unsere Community wird, umso mehr Geschichten und Erinnerungen können wir gemeinsam wieder aufleben lassen.
Die beste Möglichkeit, keine unserer Folgen zu versäumen, ist, den Podcast auf iTunes und Spotify zu abonnieren. Alle Informationen zu dieser Folge findest du natürlich auch in den Shownotes.